Alright, so my house is still under construction. It goes on the market next month. It's completely been renovated, and the kitchen is the last step to having a fully renovated house. So, it needed some floating shelves. I removed a cabinet and added these. And the best thing about these are they're super easy to build and they cost less than $25 to make. And that's 3 of them. You can make more for a little bit more, of course, or less for obviously less. So, watch the video, let me know what you think, and please like, comment, and subscribe if you do enjoy the video. So all you really need, a couple 2x6s. Right here on the table I have some red oak, but of course I have it on hand, so why not use it? Like I said, you can use a 2x6. You can get that at any big box stores. You don't even have to worry about trying to go out and get a piece of hardwood from a hardwood dealer. 2 drill bits. I'll show you the reason why I use 2 different sizes. And then the spray poly. I like to use the spray poly because then you don't have to try to clean out a brush or even a roller or clean out a sprayer. It's just easier just to rattle can it. So much easier. Some magnets. You don't have to use the magnets either. That's just if you need it to pull tight and it helps. I thought I was going to need it, but hey, I did a good enough job on it and I didn't need them. Those dowels. The dowels are going to be the things that's going to hold it together. Screw gun, tape measure, and a circular saw with straight edge, or of course, if you have one, a table saw. So like any great project, of course, it starts by breaking stuff down to smaller, manageable chunks. You can always glue it back together. Even though we're not doing any gluing here, that's how every single thing starts, is with the milling process. I only have a 6-inch joiner, so of course I had to rip everything down to about 5 7/8. I think maybe somewhere 5 15/16, just right under 6 inches though. And then I ran everything through the joiner, planer, and back to the table saw. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to use dummy meth. Just taking that screw right there because that's going to go into the wall, and just trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to do this because I have no plans for it and I'm just kind of winging it as I go. Now I'm cutting it into 2 different pieces so you can see exactly what I'm doing. The smaller piece is the part that's going to be bumped up into the wall, and the larger piece is going to be bumped into that piece being held together with the dowels. And now you can just see once the pieces do come back together how tight and crisp it does look. I did run them with a super light pass through my joiner, but if you don't have a joiner, you don't have to do this step because it still did look pretty good without it. So now I'm laying out for the dowels. You don't have to do it this way with the roller. I just couldn't find my center scribe. A center scribe is probably the best job for this because it's a tool that registers off each side of the board and gives you a perfect center line right down the middle. It would be a lot more accurate this way. I did run into a couple problems, but I just went really slow and made sure that I made it work. Now, please do not make the same mistake that I did. Do not just put the dowels into the hole and hope that you can pull it back apart, because I promise you, you're not going to without screwing them up. I had to actually cut down one of my shelves just a little bit smaller because I had to use a screwdriver just to start prying it open, and it took me 13.5 hours just to do it. It really didn't take me that long, but it did take me a long time to pry them back apart. Just trust me, sand them down a little bit, get them to slide loosely in and out of that hole. It's just a lot easier. And if you did everything right, it should come together super tight. So while I was putting in the dowels, I got to thinking, I could do this same exact thing and make it 10 times faster with using my domino. I have the bigger domino, so I can make longer dowels from it, or dominoes. It makes it way easier. You don't have to worry about your drill bit going off slightly to the side or being too deep. You just set your number, drill your hole, put your domino in, and be done. 10 times faster this way. And I know everybody doesn't have a domino. You don't need to. You can still use your dowel. But this way is really fast. At first, I was just going to leave it with a square edge and just kind of round it over a little bit with breaking the edge with a piece of sandpaper, but I decided let's just go ahead and give it a nice little 1/8 inch round over. Kind of cleans it up and actually made it look pretty damn good compared to what it was just with a square edge. Of course, so everybody's favorite thing, of course, is sanding. Good thing I sped up this part because nobody wants to even watch sanding because it's so dang boring. And here you can see the reason why I made this floating shelf into 2 different pieces. So here I am actually drilling holes, little pilot holes, for the screws to go into the wall. So now you can see what is going to happen is once I put this screw into the wall, the dominoes or the dowels are actually going to be put into the other holes, and it's going to look and pull it tight to act like it's not even cut in half. And one of the best parts is actually watching your work come to life, and because you spend all that extra time sanding, you shouldn't have any swirl marks. Well, I didn't have any swirl marks because I spent all that extra time sanding. I just sped up the video and you didn't see me. Refer back if you missed that part. So, it's actually time to install this thing, and I'm inside my house. And yes, I know that my cabinets are different colors, and we're about to sell this house, and I'm completely remodeling it. I had some old tile that was in here, and I put all this shiplap up, and now I'm doing the floating shelves. But trying to just get it all fixed up and stuff like that, trying to do it right. So, like I said, don't judge the different color cabinets and the nail holes because I just hung this stuff yesterday. So anyways, right now I'm just trying to figure out the equal distances between each side, making sure that there's space left to right, top to bottom, all accordingly perfect. So, I might not be the smartest guy or the sharpest tool in the shed, however that saying goes, but I did think about this and I did think this out well. This house is the most effed up house I've ever seen in my life. Whoever built this house had no clue how to build a house, and I've seen some pretty bad houses being that I've used to build houses, and this house is probably the worst. All of the studs are 12 inches on center or 13 5/8 on center or 27.5 inches. I don't know where they get their stud pattern at all. I guess that's what they did in the 50s, but I've even seen older houses that have a better layout than what this house does. So being that, I actually put a piece of 3/4 inch plywood back behind this so that it helps with me not having to worry about where I put these shelves, and I will always hit a stud technically because that 3/4 inch plywood, and it is attached to the studs, so it helps out. And I kind of thought a little ahead, and this made this process so much easier to do. Now if you are doing this in a traditional stick built house, make sure that you do follow where your stud pattern is, or get a stud finder. The stud finders always seem to go off on me, so I can't really use them that much. That's what kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So I can't wait to put these good shelves to use. We already got planned to put our salt and pepper up there. So I'll see you guys on the next one, and take care. Bye bye.